Hello everyone, welcome back. Today we have 4 piles to pick from instead of 3. This is going to be a reading for you singles out there. I know I'm uploading this on Valentine's Day, but you do not have to watch this video on Valentine's Day. It can be whenever. We are going to be looking at basically potential future partners and how your relationship would go. You could take this as this is very likely to happen, or this would happen in an ideal world and it would be good for you. You're free to interpret this reading however you want, or however feels most helpful for you. I don't really deal with absolutes most of the time, so I do think a lot of things are up in the air, and I also acknowledge that these are collective readings, which mean that they are meant for the majority of people who watch them. However, some people may not resonate with them at all. That's fine. And like with all my readings, you can look at all of the readings and then decide afterwards which one you think best fits you. I don't really care. But if you want to do this the traditional way, then pick a pile that you feel particularly drawn to, and then skip ahead in the timestamp below to view your reading. If you end up liking your reading, I would appreciate if you liked, comment, and or subscribed, but let's just get right into it. Pile number 1, if you picked this Smoky Quartz along with this Chien Pao promo card, this is going to be your reading. So, the first card in this reading is basically who you will be, or what will be happening when you meet this person, or if you already technically know this person, when you will probably be actually thinking about getting together. So for here we have Fletchling. The reason why this is an interesting card to get is because there's you're not even going to be really thinking about... I just realized I still have paint on my hands from earlier. If I get distracted, I'm so sorry. Sorry. You are going to not even really be thinking about romance, I think. This is you're gonna be having fun, just kind of being yourself. This might be, if you're someone who gets really sensitive about not being in a relationship, this might be a time in which you start to get comfortable with yourself and being single, ironically enough. But let's look at the rest of these cards. So for future partner, we have Venonat. This would also imply someone who is kind of an oddball and is also completely fine with being themselves. This seems to lead to the idea that part of the reason why you guys go together is because you are separate people. Some couples are super obsessed with each other, and that's fine, but other couples like their space. They like that their partner has friends outside of them, and they're not super concerned with what their partner does on the side all the time, as long as their partner still makes time for them at the end of the day. And this seems to be what these 2 cards are leading to. Let's continue. So for the shadow, the 3rd card is I guess your shadow, the thing that is following you around, past hang-ups that keeps resurfacing. This would be, sometimes you can be kind of guarded, kind of spiky, not really giving people the attention that they need when they need it. Obviously, you should set boundaries, but a relationship should be pretty even. Both the partners' needs should be met, and some people do require a lot more attention than others. You might think to yourself that you thought it was perfectly obvious that you love this person, but the other person might not realize that you show it in ways that they don't pick up on. So if you're sitting there thinking, well, I am a lovey-dovey person, it might be that, like, you're not really speaking this person's hypothetical love language. I don't like 100% believe in the love languages thing, in the sense of, like, everyone has, like, a mix of them in that kind of sense, but, like, it is true that some people prefer certain types of affection more than others, and it could just be that your past relationships or potential relationships that didn't really end up good ended up because the other person just didn't think you were that interested in them, or some other similar thing. But let's continue. The fourth card is how to get over this. Now, I think this is saying that while you should be aware of it, that psychic energy, that mindfulness, you shouldn't let it control you. You shouldn't be afraid of coming off the wrong way. The important thing is to keep your sense of individuality while still being honest. But the fifth card is going to have, like, advice on what to do. Now, this seems to imply that things are going to get weird, but it is an upgrade. It's just that, like, it's probably going to be a relationship that you're not really used to. And that's not necessarily a bad thing, especially with these other cards. It just seems like it's just going to be weird. It might feel a little surreal. And, like, as an example of how that might not be a bad thing, for example, if someone has been in a bunch of relationships where the other partner yells at them, and then now they're in a relationship where their new partner never yells at them, they might feel weirded out by that because they're so used to the other thing. But, like, it's a good thing that their partner doesn't yell at them constantly, right? That's kind of the vibes I get here, is it's going to feel weird because it's new, but it's, like, a good kind of new. Even though there might be some parts that, like, kind of, like, cause that unsettling, like, nature inside of yourself. But like I said, the important part is not letting it get to your head. Being open about it. But this pair here, this feels like such a nice pair. It feels like a relatively calm pair as well, which might be why it feels weird for things to be so calm. I mean, you hear a lot of times about people are, like, in just relationship drama all the time, right? But this feels nice. Like, it's chillaxing. It is raining around them, but he's having a nice look. He doesn't look sad to me, at least. He just looks like he's chilling. He's waiting. Very patient person, which is going to be good for you, even if you might not be used to that. But pile number 1, I hope that was interesting for you. See you next time. Alright, pile number 2, if you picked this moonstone along with this promo Diplin card, this is going to be your reading. So the first card is going to be who you are at the time you meet this person, or if you already know this person, who you are about the time that, like, you two start getting, like, close. And this, you're not having a fun time. And not necessarily because you're, like, miserable or something, but, like, you're focused, you're on the hunt, but not for love. You might not be having a fun time because things around you are not very good. They might be a little grim, but it's not necessarily because your life is falling apart or something. It could just be, like, you're focused on your career, or you're focused on moving to a better place, soaring higher. But let's continue. The second card is going to be, like, your some traits about your future partner. this person might actually be completely new to relationships. It could be that like either they haven't had one in a long time, they've never had one before, or they've never had one with someone like you and they are completely mystified as to how to go about it. There might be some clumsiness, but this person is good intentioned. They just might not really get it. I also get the sense that this might be a person who doesn't necessarily understand social cues very well, or they might even be a little bit childish in some aspects of their personality. Not necessarily a bad thing. They could just be fun-loving. But let's continue and see what these other cards say. So, the third card is like hang-ups, shadows that keep following you from your past, stuff like that. This implies that at first you might want a deeper connection with them that this person cannot necessarily provide at the beginning of the relationship, because they might be a bit more simple-minded, they're not used to the relationship, and you, like, if you're being a go-getter, you know what you want. And so at first you might even be a little disappointed, but this feels more like you will be digging deeper in order to establish those connections. Or rather, you will have the desire to dig deeper to establish those connections. Let's go to 4. 4 is how to actually deal with the number 3. Wow. This is like okay, so obviously Colossal is like a rock type, but it's also a fire type, right? Fire is like the passion. I think this is like, you guys have to start getting on the same wavelength and like matching each other's energy a bit. You might need to like, there might be points where you need to be kind of serious with this person. You have to let them know how their actions are affecting you, such as if they say something that was like a joke and it actually upset you, you have to let them know that. Like I said, this person might not be great with social cues. They might not pick up when you're upset with them. They might not fully understand if they do something that hurts your feelings entirely. And like I said, it's not because they're like a bad person. It's they don't get it. It might be because they think like, oh, if that happened to me, I wouldn't have my feelings hurt. But like, you're not them, right? So you have to make it known. You have to establish that you're your own person and that you're like setting boundaries. But like, you might have to be a bit stern with them, because they're, yeah. But let's go to the 5th card, which is more advice on, ooh. The 5th card is more advice on like how to deal with this situation. But this is really interesting to get as a final evolution of this card. Solosis. Now we've got the Reuniclus, I think it's pronounced. I'm gonna be real, I have never heard it pronounced out loud. But I think, yeah, this is pretty much saying that, like, once you do that, you will allow this person to evolve. Because, like I said, it's not that they're a bad person, it's just they don't get it, and they might need someone to actually, like, tell them what's going on. And then, like, then once they get it, they're gonna be a really good partner to you. But yeah, this also implies that like they are like kind of smart, but like book smart, not like people smart. And that might be where some of the frustration leads to, or comes from, because you're sitting there like, you're so smart and you don't get this. But this does require like, this is going to require like both a stern hand and some patience, I think. Yeah, especially since you're gonna be in like that go-getter mode. You're gonna be in that like, I know what I want mode. But yeah, and then this will like lead to the relationship still keeping like most of its like fun, loving aspects, but like being able to be more mature about it as well. So pile number 2, that's your reading. Hope that was interesting to you. Pile number 3, if you picked this rose quartz along with Skeledirge, this is going to be your reading for today. So the first card is like who you are when you meet this person, or if you already know this person, who you are when like you two start like getting close, or like might be like thinking about dating each other. Roly Coly. This implies that like you're focused on work, but like I don't know how to explain this. It's like it's not just being focused on work, it's like you're focused on getting ahead. It's like it's like this isn't like this doesn't feel like it's work. You're focused on getting ahead, but this doesn't feel like it's work. It might be that you're taking a hobby really seriously or something. Or like you're indulging in something and you're starting to take it super seriously. But this doesn't feel like it's work. It feels like it's something outside of work, like a hobby, and like trying to master that part. But let's see the other cards here. Number 2 is your future partner. This is going to be someone who is like pretty intelligent, but like mostly just like laid back, so you don't really notice that kind of side of them. They're super laid back, they're super fun-loving, and they might also have like a strong sense of justice. They also seem to be like they would be pretty outgoing. It feels with this water and like, okay, I know it's also like a fire type in the game. This feels like you might not even really like expect it. You wouldn't expect you two to go well as you're like going. But let's continue. So for card number 3, this is like your hang-ups or like shadows that follow you and might prevent you from doing as well in the relationship as you would like. This would imply if you're not very good with social interaction, you may have found yourself mirroring other people, and this is actually going to be a detriment to you because this person is so full of energy, you cannot match their energy. It's going to be exhausting. You cannot. I'm saying that right now. And like, that's not a bad thing, but like, that just happens with people. So this is saying you don't have to mirror them to make them happy. Yeah, card number 4 is how to help deal with card number 3. And yeah, this is about being stubborn. This is about sticking to your guns. And like I said, you might be tempted to, especially if you're like a people pleaser, it's time to not be a people pleaser. And I don't mean like you shouldn't be a grump, obviously, but like if you like constantly do stuff and like mirror other people, you don't really share your own opinions, you're just kind of going with whatever the other person wants to do or whatever, that person is actually not going to want this. They're going to want you to be your own person. Card number 5 is how to be on the right path towards the relationship. And yeah, you might have to clean up your act a little bit, but this is about being like, so these guys are like always like hard at work, right? Like they're always cleaning stuff. But they're doing it because they're happy cleaning stuff, right? And like here, You know how I said that like this was about work, but not work like your career, but like you're doing something and you're like succeeding in it because you want to. So this implies that you should keep doing that. And that's actually why this person likes you. Is because you're your own person and you're doing something that like you're super invested in and you want to like get ahead in, but like you're doing it because you like it even though it's hard work. And again, you need to stray away from like doing whatever people tell you to. Or not whatever people tell you to, but whatever you feel like you need to do to please other, like bend over backwards and please other people at the cost of your own individuality. Because like I said, this person is going to like you because you are a unique individual, because you are an ambitious individual, and because you are doing your own thing. But you know, it's also like there's also a sense of comfort here, right? You do have to obviously balance your time with this person, and your hobbies and works and whatever. So I think you might need to start including them in your hobby. That might be how this starts to balance and work out. Look how comfortable he is. Yeah, you might have to. You might be used to going off and doing what the other person is doing, but now it might be the time to drag the other person into what you're doing. And who knows, you guys might have fun. Obviously, it's not necessarily going to be everyone's jam. Like, for example, I play the Pokemon TCG. My boyfriend plays Magic the Gathering TCG. I'm not sure if we would ever get into each other's TCG, but we like talking about it and showing it to each other. Like, I like watching him play games. Sometimes I show him how I play games. So even if you're not actually getting your partner into the exact same thing, you guys are probably going to end up finding some common ground that you can, like, relate to. And that's going to be really important because, again, this person likes that you have hobbies. This person likes that you're your own person. This person is like such a free spirit and also wants you to be able to be a free spirit. Okay? So I hope that all made sense. Pile number 3. Thank you for watching. Alright, pile number 4. If you picked this Prophecy Stone, along with this Brute Bonnet promo card, this is going to be your reading for today. Alright. Card number 1 is going to be where you are at the moment you meet this person, or if you already know this person, the moment in which you start to like get together. So that like this Slurpuff is like you're going to be like daydreaming in like a world of possibilities. You're probably not actually too concerned with how real life is going. You may even feel a bit like escapist at this time if you are concerned with how real life is going, but let's continue. So, card number 2 is traits of your future partner. See, this Dewpider is like, this is someone who like is trying very hard, but like they might not be the best at whatever they're doing. Though this feels more like at the time that you like meet this person, they are like kind of like honing their skill in something that they're not used to, and maybe they're not very good at it, like, you know, like a new hobby that they just suck at, but like they're trying. This person has a lot of ambition. This person doesn't really give up easily, but it might not even be that they suck. It might be that they lack the resources to really succeed at the time that like you meet them. Let's see what these other cards say. So card number 3 is like, your hang-ups or like your shadows that follow you. We've got Sandygast. Sandygast being a ground ghost type in the game. So Sandygast is kind of about like being a little too indulgent to the point of being detrimental. Perhaps not just to yourself, but like to other people around you. Like, Sandygast like lures people to like reach in and then it like steals their life force or something. I don't remember the specifics, but you get the idea. So this next card number 3 is like basically how to help deal with card number 4 is how you deal with card number 3. Relax, let loose, don't be afraid to discard things from your life that you don't need anymore. It's not just about like real physical things, but also about your mindset. You're going to have to like start identifying things that are getting in your way. And, a little bit of hope is good to have, but then sometimes it's like, if you get too caught up in your own head and you get too caught up on like what you could be doing instead of what you're actually doing, and you spend all your day daydreaming, and then you don't like do anything, you're going to have to cut some things out. And like I said, this is not just for yourself, but this is also for the betterment of those around you, especially for your partner. Because this goes back with like the indulgence to the point of hurting yourself and possibly others. Especially if this is a form of escapism to the point where it's like not healthy, then, But card number 5 is going to be how to be like on a path toward a bright future with this person. We have Venomoth. And I think this just goes back to the other like 2 cards, is that you need to let go. Sometimes nobody is going to be able to come save you. Sometimes it really has to be yourself. And it's not necessarily going to be like the prettiest thing, but you'll be free. You'll be yourself. Yeah. Especially since this person tries so hard to get what they want. I don't think you have to like completely match that energy, but you might need to put it into action a bit. Especially with these psychic types, you can't spend all day in your head. I think there's like opportunity to grow, relearning a little bit from them. And just like applying the stubbornness to the right areas. But pile number 4. I hope that was enlightening to you. That's going to be all of the readings for today. Thank you for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.